All right, everyone. There's a link in the description, archived of course, talking about the Democrats and how they've become the party of cringe. I happen to agree with this, although this article kind of gets it wrong. It acts like the Democrats have just lately become the party of cringe. You see, for example, the very elderly Bernie Sanders leading around AOC like a little whiny dog on a leash, and trying to groom her into being a presidential candidate. That's pretty cringe, admittedly so. But this really starts a long, long ass time ago. We had, for example, Elizabeth Warren's meme team, which a lot of people have forgotten existed. Elizabeth Warren enlisted the support of a digital firm which called itself her meme team. And the whole point was to release memes of Elizabeth Warren in favor of her being elected in the primaries. And it didn't go over so well because they released one meme and got so massively dogpiled that they basically folded immediately. And the Elizabeth Warren campaign never really wanted to address the issue very much. I have a feeling there might be a reason for that. Just saying. We've seen this over and over again actually, with the Democratic Party. They're simply not good at memes. They're not good at communication. If the Republicans are good at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, so you literally tell them, okay, you've got a mandate, and then they freeze up like an elephant sitting on a stool while a mouse runs around its legs or something. I know that that's not real, but it's an old stereotype. If the Republicans are good at that, the Democrats are good at poor messaging. They are not good at getting their point across to people in a way that is organic. It's all very astroturf. It's all very scripted. You look at their speeches many of the time. When you look at their speeches, don't they seem awfully scripted? Trump is more likely to go off the rails and just start rambling, but at least he's speaking his actual mind. He's speaking his truth to power, as the liberals would say. Liberal politicians, meanwhile, need a piece of paper and a teleprompter in order to speak at all. It's a little bit different. There are two different worlds basically right now within U.S. politics. The Democrats right now have become the party of fringe, as this article explicitly points out, although it doesn't dig quite deep enough. Topically speaking, it's a good article in general. The Democrats are the party of astroturfing, paid influencers, propaganda, often state-led, by the way. This has been happening for years. It didn't just start happening lately. The latest surge is, of course, the Sanders AOC thing. Their dynamic is Bernie Sanders realizes he's on his way out. He's an old, aging, 80-something socialist. He realizes he's not going to become president of the United States, and he's trying to leave behind an acolyte, a Sith Lord, so to speak, in his wake. He has chosen AOC as that individual, which doesn't surprise me, by the way, in the least. I think his preference would have been somebody like Klobuchar, but Klobuchar I don't think is willing to play that game. Also, she's a raging drunk and apparently throws bottles at people's heads on a regular basis, so that might be a problem. AOC is only serving the drinks, rarely drinking them. Klobuchar is the one that is doing so. She's taking care of the mess. She's using her liver to absorb AOC's problems, so to speak. It's very funny. But Bernie is simply trying to mint a new candidate, and I suspect that AOC will attempt to run for the presidency in the future. It depends on what happens in the next campaign. It depends on who's in the primaries, basically. If she thinks she's going to have to go up against Kamala Harris, I think she would be reluctant to do so. If Kamala says, "No, you know what? I'm just going to do book tours and stuff like that," I think that AOC will jump in for 28, and she'll definitely be in for 32, assuming that there's no incumbent. That's my read on it. That's what I suspect will happen. And that's because she's got a massive ego. She is self-righteous, believes herself to be destined to be the president, the emperor of the United States. She'll be the emperor that Donald Trump is not, in other words. She'll be the one that you have to look out for. I like how some people are calling Donald Trump the Antichrist because he made a photoshopped image of him as Pope. Yeah, that really makes him the whore of Babylon. That makes a lot of sense. Then you've got articles, of course, saying that Catholics are enraged by this. Funny, I've seen like two actual Catholics that are actually angry at this. Interesting. All the others seem to be a bunch of liberal atheists, but I digress. The Democrats need to stop trying to be cool. What you need to do is develop a coherent, policy-based platform. You need to tell the American people this is what we want to do, and this is why we want to do it. That's all you have to do. All of this moronic bullshit means absolutely nothing to the average voter. When they go to the grocery store and they see the price of goods, when they go to the gas station and see the price at the pump, when they read the news and see about the violent crime that's happening and so forth, the Republicans have totally outflanked you on all of these issues. All you need to do has become a party of sort of union labor and things like that. A labor party, so to speak, preferably minus the socialism. Um, Not running on increasing taxes on people because that's not popular. Not running on stealing people's guns because that's unpopular. Not running on Ralph Northam style abortions because that's exceptionally unpopular. That's all you have to do. It's not really that difficult. Give me a single week and I can whip the Democratic Party into shape and I guarantee I would win the next election. I think most of you could probably do that as well. It's just that the strategists that are running the party and the politicians that are standing for office, they're retarded. They do not know what they're doing. You can't even win against the Republicans? What's wrong with you? You can't win against the Republican Party, against the GOP? Something is obviously systemically wrong. I mean, I'm chuckling about it, but it's actually true. The Republicans have a tendency to shoot themselves in the foot. You can't even beat them? Dear God, what the hell? What the hell is wrong with you? Trump is one of the few intelligent people within the party. It's not a surprise that you lost against him. But even down ballot, you lost a bunch of races that originally you were expected to win. That should be seen as a problem. Under normal circumstances, you would autopsy the election and you would say, okay, what did we do wrong? Well, you did everything wrong. That's the whole problem. And you're still doing things wrong. You're allowing people on the far left who are simply egotistically grandstanding to become basically the main heads of your party right now. Nancy Pelosi occasionally weighs in. Chuck Schumer, for what little it's worth, occasionally weighs in. Right now, the standard bearers of the Democratic Party, at least in public parlance, are Bernie fucking Sanders and AOC. Don't you see why this is a problem? If you're too stupid to realize why it's a problem, maybe you deserve to die off entirely as a party, honestly. That's about all. Peace out.